Well, we're back here on Twentymile Creek. Ever since my last visit with Pops and getting skunked, I figured I'd make my way back, but this time for 2 full days of fishing, and that might give me a better chance at pulling a trout out of this stream. Warming up in this first little stretch, I feel a quick hit across my line, and I wasn't confident that it was a fish, so I pulled slowly, and to my surprise I see this trout come flying towards me. It's exciting to see, but short-lived, as it fell off my line as soon as I tried to pull it close. I keep working my way up this little section here and stumble upon this nice little pool with some sun sort of illuminating it. This looks like a nice little spot where a trout might be hanging out. And sure enough, I get another hit, except this time we actually are able to keep this guy on the line. Yeah, it's a nice little 5-inch-ish rainbow trout. I wanted to do a nice little release with this guy on camera, but he sort of plops out of my hand, and then as soon as he hits the water, he kind of just gets off of the fly, which probably, especially for his sake, works out in the end anyways. But this was very exciting to be able to catch a fish in this first section, which gave me a lot of hope for the rest of the day and for tomorrow. In this next section of the stream, I ended up swapping flies after losing my nymph under some rocks. I took this as an opportunity to try something similar in size, but with a little bit more color. I don't even know what you would call it, to be honest. There were several pools to hit along the way up this section until finally we came to this much larger pool backed by a ton of downfall. I spent about 2 hours up and down this little area and figured the trout either didn't want what I was serving or they were just turned off for the day. I was then humbled by probably the worst knot I've ever experienced in my line and figured, you know what, it's probably a good time to start making the climb towards camp. This is tiring. Got weight on the back, on the front, got the camera, and it probably doesn't need to be this hard, taking all this up to camp, but I like it. Do hard shit, right? That's how I convince myself. It's like, oh, this is hard. It's good practice. I don't have to do this, but I'm gonna, because I said I would. Lessons will be learned or not, and we'll just keep going. All right, the curse of a content creator. You're sitting here, you're climbing this mountain, and it's like, oh, we got to get up to camp, but wait, there is a little drippy waterfall thing here. Sounds cool, looks cool. That would make some great B-roll. Let me spend 10 minutes here making sure we capture that. Goodness. It does look good though, you know what I'm saying? There's a quote by Marcus Aurelius that has been stuck in my head for a few weeks, and now that I've heard it, I think I'll always keep it with me. He says, "Stop philosophizing about what a good man is and be one." I often have conversations with myself about what it means to be a good man, a topic I also share a lot with my father, and the truth is, it's never been easy to put a finger on it. And when I make a list of all of the things that it should be, it never really hits the mark when defining it. I think we all know what it means to be good, and if that's true, then all other choices are just noise. I think what Marcus Aurelius is really saying here is to take action, and that talking about it gets you no closer to living it, even if you screw it up along the way. After dinner, I hiked up about a quarter mile to scout out the stream before dark to get a look at what fishing would be like in the morning. The stream was very tough to get to, much tighter with flourishing cascades and thick rhododendron coverage on all sides. Fishing is definitely possible up here, but considering I had a ton of stream left untouched south of camp, I decided that in the morning we'd hike back down and start in a more open area I spotted on the way up. So in this first section, there were a couple of really nice pools next to some large rocks, and after several casts, I came to the conclusion that I was letting my tip down a bit too much, and my wet fly was probably dragging across the bottom. So as soon as I made that adjustment, my first cast after that to get that fly maybe halfway between the bottom and the surface of the water, this big fella just hit. Just like that, I lost them before I even was able to get my net out. Of course, you could see me literally struggling to get my net off of my waist here, which might have made the difference of being able to capture this guy. So I was a little disappointed with myself. There are a few things that I need to learn from this. One, I need to be able to access my net much quicker and easier. Two, I really need to keep my tip up because, you can see in this moment, I let my pole down, and that's pretty much when he got off of the hook. Either way, good learning experience. But in the end, I did not deserve to actually land this fish. So, humbling, if anything. This portion of the stream actually opened up quite nicely. This probably felt like the most open area of the stream, and also the easiest to access from what I could see up on the trail. And maybe that's why, you know, the fish weren't really taking anything in this area. I didn't see much. I don't know if it had been fished out. And I, you know, also didn't get any hits in this little section either until further up. So at this point, the battery in my Sony was almost shot completely, so I wanted to save the rest of it just in case we pull in a nice looking fish. And in this last section, we did get a handful of little snags, a couple of flashes, and I kind of yoinked a 4 to 5 incher, you know, across a cascade again, but wasn't able to land it. You know, otherwise, this section kind of skunked us as the heat sort of started rising. I think I need to go back to the drawing board a little bit, because today we got, I don't know, 4 or 5 fish, hit it on the line, started reeling them in, and then lost them. One of them was a big one. One of those bad boys was probably about 7-8 inches, which would have just been amazing to be able to catch. Otherwise, we didn't get a single fish into our net today, and just a lot of hits, and just they're falling off the hook before I get them in. So I don't know what that means. I'm gonna go do some research, because they're in there. The fish are in there. I saw a couple big ones towards this last hour, actually. You know, for whatever reason, the fish stopped hitting them. I was watching them come through, just staring at them 2 or 3 at a time, just staring at the fly. Swap flies a couple times, same thing, stare at it. And so I don't know if it's how I'm tying on the fly. Maybe they're just not hungry and they're not into what I'm serving them. But either way, it was a really good couple of days. It's time to go home. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.